As parents, there is nothing in the world you love more than your children. When they suffer, you suffer. So if you have a child that's easily overwhelmed in large crowds, is always touching everything, or doesn't pick up on social cues or understand personal space, not only can it be frustrating, but absolutely heartbreaking to watch them struggle with stressful sensory situations. There's not a one-size-fits-all for sensory processing challenges, but SPD is a condition that affects how the brain and nervous system process stimuli, and it can affect all 5 general senses: touch, smell, sight, taste, and hearing. If your child struggles with SPD, you already know its effects. So in this video, we're going to look at the root causes and the specific tests we can use to measure the struggle, and then even more importantly, get to work helping make the sensory processing system more comfortable and able to handle stimuli. Now, there are 2 different kinds of sensory processing challenges. There's sensory avoiding, where they don't want to be touched, and then there's sensory seeking, where they're always in need of more stimulation. And children can definitely have a mix of both. So to find the root cause of these struggles, we have to go all the way back to your child's development, often even before delivery. One of the very first things to develop in utero is the brain and autonomic nervous system. So if our mothers are left in a constant state of distress and anxiety, this can greatly affect the developing infant's brain and nervous system. Another trigger is birth intervention and trauma. Forceps, vacuum extraction, induction, C-section, etc. They can all disrupt the function of the brainstem and upper cervical spinal cord regions, which are the most important areas for processing and integrating sensory information before it reaches the brain. Think of the brainstem as air traffic control for all your child's senses, where it's responsible for not only organizing and processing the information, but keeping out any unwanted or annoying information. Now, this unwanted and annoying information is known as nociception. And the reason your child may be avoiding certain stimuli is to avoid additional noisy and stressful situations that they can't tolerate. Additionally, if they are constantly moving and seeking out physical touch and stimulation, they're doing so in order to bring about proprioception, which is a sense of movement. And while it may not seem like it, all of the movement and touching things is actually calming their brain down. So it's one thing to talk through why is this happening, but more importantly, how do we help it? The nervous system is a 2-way street. One set of nerves are called sensory nerves that send information and report to the brain and brainstem precisely what's going on inside the body in the internal environment and outside the body, the external environment. The other set of nerves is more of what is termed motor control nerves that send signals out from the brain and spinal cord and tell various parts of the body what to do, when to do it, how to do it, etc. As parents, you often measure these systems through the symptoms that they produce, but this often doesn't tell the whole story of what's going on inside the body within the nervous system. This is why taking a test to look under the surface is so incredibly important when it comes to children who struggle with SPD. In our office, we run 3 different neurosensory scans from technology called the insight scans. The insight scans are about finding, tracking, and understanding if subluxation and dysautonomia are present. And if they are, we need to know 2 things about them. Number 1, how significant or severe is it? And number 2, where within the neurospinal system is that stress or subluxation primarily located? Think of the neurospinal system as a fuse box in your home. While our nervous system is quite a bit more intricate and complex than that, many of the sensory and motor nerves function in a similar manner. In our office, we use the neurofuse chart to help us better track and locate where and what kind of trouble subluxation and dysautonomia may be causing. Making sure this system is working at full function is simply the most important exam and assessment any pediatric provider could ever perform for your child. Put simply, if the nervous system isn't calm on the inside, sensory symptoms will show up on the outside. If you're ready to have your child scanned, feel free to give our office a call or send us a message. We'd love to help.